Good evening everyone and welcome to Division 5 of TTML. We are here for round 6 of the championship as we take in the Austrian Grand Prix from the Red Bull Ring. My name is James Hay, going to be taking you through the stream as lead commentator once again here tonight. And in a week of firsts, joining me in the commentary box for the first time, it is Daniel Hoggard, better known as QPR Dakar. And Dakar, we are here tonight, of course, in Austria. First of all, how are you doing? Second of all, what's your expectations?
Thank you very much, James. I'm doing just fine. Thanks for letting me in there. So, yeah, let's get started. Austrian Grand Prix here tonight. What are my expectations? Well, I don't know the drivers too well in this division, I have to be honest, so I'm going to be learning on the spot alongside you, James, but I'm very excited to see how everything shapes up. Austria, of course, a track where typically races can be very tight, one of the shortest laps on the calendar, a lot of laps and quite a lot of DRS zones as well, so expect a lot of overtaking and a lot of close fighting. I can't wait to see how they're all going to shape up as we get into the race in just a few minutes' time.
Yeah, it is going to be fantastic, I think. Obviously, Division 2, if you tuned into the action last night, you missed out on an absolute treat of a race. Quite a lot of overtaking, quite a lot of good battling out on track, even a good move around the outside of Turn 6 from Matt Tibos from the top of my mind as well. You can go and watch that back, of course, on League of Racing TV. But why would you? Because we've got the GOAT commentary team here taking you through Division 5. I would like that.
Yeah, thanks for the compliments. I think it's the first time we've ever commentated together, so very much looking forward to sharing the box with you here tonight. Currently just a few minutes out, we've got 13 drivers in the lobby. Hopefully we get a couple more so we have a good solid grid to tackle this famed Austrian circuit, the Red Bull Ring. And yeah, let's get it underway very shortly. James, I cannot wait.
Yeah, it is going to be fantastic, I think, out on track. To tune in actually to what happened last week, it was Jeffrey who took the win and Mercedes second and third, with Mays finishing in third, and his teammate, off the top of my mind, is not here tonight, but the Mercedes finished second and third position. What does that do to the championship standings? Well, Tekken leads the way on 104 points, with Maximus in second on 98. Paul McGinn's in third on 94, with Jeffrey in fourth after that win in Canada on 93 points. Atlas Copo in fifth on 85. Then a bit of a breakdown to Jibby Storm, who's in sixth on 63 points. Mays in seventh on 59, with Shumi in eighth on 46. Odd Vanderlei in ninth on 43, tied with Zero in ninth on 43 as well. Running down the bottom half of the grid, Nilsson on 36 points, with Nellis in 12th on 33, Passels on 31 in 13th, Vax Viking in 14th on 30, Sapmi King in 15th on 26, then we've got Salas in 16th on 25, tied for 17th are Tolman and Victus on 23 points, NSR Storm is in 19th on 18, and Day Miles in 20th on 9 points. Racing Point currently leading the constructors as well on 164 points. Mercedes second on 152. Ferrari in third on 139. I'll run down the rest of the constructors in just a second. End of the field in terms of the drivers' battle, certainly 11 points separating the top four. Add into that Atlas Copel, you've got 19 points covering the top five. Very close coming into tonight.
Oh yes, indeed, and I think that's one thing we're going to be having to keep an eye on all the way through tonight, is that championship battle. Of course, every race so crucial, and particularly this one, because it can all change in just one race, and even the split-second moments could affect the whole complexion of this title fight. So let's see, of course, got to keep a tight eye on those title contenders at the front of the field. We'll see, of course, how everyone else gets on, as now we're loading in. We're getting into our first 18-minute qualifying session. We'll see now for the Austrian Grand Prix. Let's get it underway.
It is going to be fantastic, of course, this Austrian Grand Prix. Just to run through the rest of the constructors as well. Renault in fourth on 124 points. Red Bull in fifth on 121. Then a bit break to AlphaTauri in sixth on 76 points, with Williams in on 59 points. I can hear myself, by the way. Alfa Romeo in 9th on 34 points, and Haas in 10th on 18 points.
Well,
Beautiful double voice coming through there.
Yeah, I'm trying. I think maybe on my end, so I'm just trying to sort that out. Hopefully, it all sets up nicely. But now we're just waiting now to load in qualifying session is what is in store for us, of course, to kick things off. Just waiting in a bit of a black screen at the moment. And there we are,
Ooh.
loading in bright and sunny here at the Red Bull Ring. And yeah, James, well, we're going to see how that affects the drivers. I'm sure they'll be being a little bit of a sigh of relief on most ends that they don't have to put up with rain, at least in qualifying. But we'll see now who's going to be the first on track, who's going to put down the fastest times here at Austria. Let's get this one started.
Yeah, looks like Sapmi King might be one of the first to come out on track. And in fact, his teammate is going to be out on track first, and that's Torenheim. And Torenheim is one of the new drivers here, of course, in Norway. He is in the Williams. Oh, and he's made a great start there as he's crashed into the pit lane exit.
Oh dear, clicking that Williams. Yeah, he's got end plate damage, you can see there. So, wow, that's not the way you want to be kicking off your campaign here at all. And he's now going to have to lumber around, go around with so much less downforce. Surely has the pit at the conclusion of that outlap. That is a terrible, terrible start for Torenheim. Hopefully he can recover and get himself back into the swing of things, but yeah, that's not the start that he would have wanted.
Yeah, that is one way to arrive here in TTML Division 5, I guarantee him that. Torenheim now coming through turn 6. I think Rock City is one of the new guys as well out on track. We'll come to him in just a second. There he is out on track in the Haas. The newly formed, of course, Haas, looking to score points. 18 points they have got in the Constructors down there in 10th position. But Rock City will be hoping for a good performance out on track tonight. But that Ferrari is first out on track, and that looks like Atlas Coppo who's going to be first. Torenheim going for a lap, though, with that front wing damage.
Oh, what? That is fascinating. We're going to see how he gets on there as he heads towards turn 1 then. Flicking in 5th gear. Don't run out too wide. You're going to invalidate. I think he's just about managed to get away with that, though, rather peculiarly, because, at least for me, he's not invalidated now. Little left-hand kink of turn 2, and then you're onto the brakes, into the hairpin of 3, brakes very, very late, runs a little bit deep. He's going to be getting a lot of understeer in that Williams, and now the power is down, but he's not opening his DRS, so he may have had a failure, or he's backed it up, but he's still running in hot lap mode, so he's still pushing by the looks of things. Now in a turn 4, just want to hook it on that car on the inside and power out there. Little kink at 5 there, rolls on, and then into the left hand turn 6. You got to try and use as much of the track as you can here at Austria. There is critical to try and get great lap time. You can see now through turn 7 and a little run through 8. Now heading down towards the final 2 corners. Does he pit? Does he stay out there? It's going to be one to look out for then. Looks like he is going to stay out. Runs very wide again. Gets away with it. Now to the final corner, turn 10. And up to the line there. Torenheim kicks off the session 106.3, but I'm sure he is capable of much more in this session. 106.3 to kick things up. Now it's Atlas Coppo, and that Ferrari goes up to the line and storms to the top of the timesheet. So 104.6, that is an emphatic start. But Rock City's got even quicker at 104.1. The lap times coming flooding in as Tekken Championship leader goes into P2. So very, very competitive out there. But Rock City, that is a really blistering lap at 104.1. That's a great start. We'll see if he can maintain that to the remainder of this session. 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, I think early on, certainly Rock City has got the head of qualifying, to be honest, and he's 4.5 tenths clear of Tekken. Tekken, more interestingly though, is on a set of medium compound of tyres. The only one I think out on track that is on that set of tyres, so it's very interesting to see. Obviously he will get quicker, and as the track progresses, these times will get quicker and quicker as well. I'm going to put it on I'm going to put my money on a 103.7 for pole.
Okay, I think I'm going to go, maybe I'll go a little bit more optimistic then, maybe a 103.6. We've still got a lot of drivers, of course. Yeah, I'm sorry, James. That's I can't follow you. You know? But yeah, that's going to be one to look out for. I'm hoping that at least that we get into the 3s. That'd be certainly something to behold then. Of course, a very, very short track in terms of lap time. And yeah, expect a very tight grid, of course, it being so short, and not the most technical track out there either. So it should be a tight grid, and it should be a tight race when we come to that a little bit later on as well. Is there anyone that's further on a lap then? I think that I think it's a little bit quiet out there after the first runs. Got a few cars still going around. I think. Do you have anyone, James? I think I've seen. I think I have tracked one.
Yeah, DN200G is just about to prepare for a lap. He's just came across the line there, set to 110.9. So the Renault does go into 7th position. Maximus on a lap. Salas is just invalidated through turn 1, but Maximus is on a lap. Let's watch on board with him as he runs down then in towards turn 4. Very difficult braking zone this down in towards turn 4, and hopefully Maximus will be providing himself a possible pole position out on track tonight. Rock City out on top as we approach the 6-minute mark. Tekken in second, Atlas Copo third, Jibby Storm in fourth, but a tenth of a second covering Tekken down to Jibby Storm. 45.1 for Maximus through the middle sector. Not lightning quick, but it could be quick enough, certainly for him, to set a good lap as he takes a very wide out line coming out of turn 8. Now through turn 9 and 10, calls 6 corners to the right. Oh, and in fact he's juked me and he's into the pit lane.
Yeah, a little bit of a late call, but the Red Bull man does decide to opt out. Of course, a championship contender and on great form. He is going to look to try and hunt for more later on in this quali session there. I think got DN200G is coming down towards the penultimate, but he is also going to opt for the pit lane, as will Manuelson behind. So a lot of drivers now concluding their first initial runs there. 6 minutes down, and Rock City had frantically on pole position, but that 104.5 from Tekken arguably equally as impressive, and he's now out of the pits on the soft tyres. So now we're going to see how your championship leader shapes up now. The soft tyres on, we'll see if he can challenge that top mark of Rock City early on now as we proceed to this quali session.
Just riding on board with Nellis as well. Nellis, I'm not sure if he's just came out the pit lane, but he's just set a 6 minutes middle sector. Yeah, I don't think that's working, to be honest. I think there's a bit of a glitch on our end. There's still drivers joining late, so that is why it's causing us a bit of a headache in terms of spectator count. But Nellis is on the lap, I guarantee you that. I think he might go up towards Sapmi King sort of area, to be honest. Out of the final corner, across the line, and he doesn't set a time.
I think that was on an out. I think that was an out lap. There was just a little bit buggy. I think it was a bit buggy with the timing, but now he's actually on a hot lap. So we'll track him now, going down towards turn 3. I'll leave it to you, James. Let's take us through this hot lap. We'll see if it's a good one.
Yeah, Nellis on the run up towards turn 3. Then the AlphaTauri out on track, looking good through there. And the Williams just in behind, I think, is on an out lap if I'm not mistaken. Unless that's Torenheim. That might be behind him out on track, but Nellis on the run down towards turn 4. Certainly looking quicker than a 6 minutes middle sector that he's set. And he's now coming through turns 5 and 6. A very good overtaking spot, possibly. Atlas Copo has just gone quicker, 103.6. So already your prediction is right by 0.5 of a second ahead of Rock City. Torenheim goes third with a 104.4 as well. We're still on board with Nellis as he comes down into the final 2 corners. Can the Dutchman really deliver? No, he can't. He nearly loses it out the final 2 corners. He invalidates, he went past the pit lane. He's going to have to do another lap all the way around Nellis across the line. It would have been a 105.103, so actually it would have been quicker than Sapmi King, even with an invalidation.
Yeah, and a huge moment at that penultimate corner. That must have been heart in mouth. Wow. That was quite some incident there. Silas just comes over the line, does a 106.2 invalid on the mediums, so he'll be looking for a little bit more. And the dying moments of the session is he'll look to try and go back to pit lane, I am sure. Is there anyone? I think it's a Jibby Storm. That's a little bit of a difficult name for me to pronounce anyway. But up to the lane comes a Racing Point, and it is second. We have another car into the 103s. That is quite a quick lap. Not to delay the lap, Copo has set absolutely massive 103.6, but that's a good lap for on the Racing Point driver. 103.9, 2 drivers into the 3, and I'm expecting more later on in the session. This quality session turning out already to be very competitive. Looking forward to see how the rest of the grid now shapes up. We've still got a number of drivers not setting times, and they're going to be out there and they're going to be charging. We'll see if they can get on the board and challenge potentially those top marks out at the front.
Invictus Purple in the middle sector. Let's see what he can do. I don't think he's going to be as lightning quick as Atlas Copo, but Invictus now coming around the final 2 corners. He's down there in 17th in the standings as he now comes around the final corner. It's going to be in around Passel sort of area. I think, in fact, he goes 4th. 104.2, only a tenth of a second off Rock City. Not a bad lap at all, that by Invictus.
Yeah, that is very impressive there. In that McLaren actually threatening the top times out in this session, so very strong lap. We've got Manuelson on the medium tyres, it's 2 tenths down in a soft lap, continuing, looks like it, round turn 10, gonna carry as much momentum as you can now over the line, and it is just marginally not an improvement there, just 700ths or so down on his time. But given that was on mediums, probably has more time in the tank, so looking forward to see how he shapes up as well. If he can get up to his teammate, the McLarens could be looking stronger in this session. I'm still a little bit baffled by that mark from Atlas Coppola, 103.6, and we're going to have to look now in the last 8 minutes if anyone in this field can get anywhere near that. That's going to be one to look out for. I can't wait to see if any of them can challenge that 103.6 and get themselves back onto provisional pole.
Just thought I'd clarify as well. I think I said that Jeffrey won last time out in Canada. He didn't. I think it was Maximus that won last time out. A Red Bull. Jeffrey's in a Mercedes. I've just realised that. So Maximus won. I think it was Jeffrey second, Mays in third. Just to clarify the results from Canada, because I know some of you might be atting me in the comment section. Because you are... Yeah, I'm not using my iPad tonight, so I had the podium graphic up. I tried to remember it and failed. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Not a great look.
But it's saying as Manuelson does improve actually on another lap. I think we've got Jeffrey. No, he's just coming around the final sector just to start lap. I got a bit confused between the two Mercedes men. Maximus has just came to almost a dead stop going over the line. Atlas Coppola goes through. He's also just kicking off a flying lap. We'll see if he can somehow improve on that 103.6. Be quite a remarkable achievement if he could. Now, Tekken, this is an interesting one now. 104.5 up to the line and goes up into P3. It took a little time to update for me. Just shy of his teammate there, a couple of hundredths off. And the championship leader also moving up there, but still 3/10 down on Atlas's mark. And he's half a tenth up in the first sector, by the way. So could be even standing to improve that time. Atlas Coppola looks absolutely imperious out there on track. If he can keep that up, well, now the Ferrari driver could be heading to a comfortable pole position at the moment.
Through the middle sector, 10th up. 10th up through the middle sector. There is a little bit of a timings glitch on our end. It is due to the spectate cam and people joining late. That is probably why. Atlas Coppola now coming around the final two corners. He's got Salas just in front of him, actually. Could give him a bit of a tow. This is going to be Atlas Coppola now around the final corner. Salas gets out of the way and across the line. I think he's going to improve. He does. Oh, what a 3.5. Fantastic lap from Atlas Coppola. He even betters your qualifying prediction. Atlas Coppola with a 103.5. He's now, once again, 3.5 tenths quicker than Jibby Storm. Interestingly to point out as well, Tekken out qualified by his teammate currently in qualifying.
Yeah, that's one to look out for, but at the moment, Atlas Coppola 3.5 tenths clear. That is quite some benchmark for anyone in this field to try and chase down. We do have 5.5 minutes for that to be achieved, though I can't wait to see if that does get threatened. I think Rock City is he's coming into the pits actually. Improved very marginally on that run, but was unable to quite get towards the top three even. So our previous provisional pole setter a little bit on the back foot here, very close from second down to fourth. But again, we have our current provisional pole setter absolutely out in a world of his own as he got DN200D coming round the final corner now onto the power. We'll see if he's able to move up. Currently bottom car and does improve but unable to quite get up to them, so struggling maybe out there. 107.3 is a little bit off, so we'll see if the Renault can get back amongst it at the moment there. 104.5 is above it. Maximus up to the line, goes sixth only. So last 2 weeks race winner, in fact their last two races won, but currently down in 6th place at the moment with the first lap in the session. Now he's got a time down and can afford to push a little bit more, but Maximus maybe not what he would have hoped for, and there's going to be a lot of work to do to try and get back up amongst those front runners in the last 4.5 minutes here in quali.
Yeah, I think he hit a bit of traffic actually coming out of the first sector. I think it was Jeffrey that got out of the way in front of him, so might have just felt he was running a bit of dirty air. His first sector probably will be the one that will be improved. Zero's gone to the line, has gone 10th on the left-hand side there with a 104.959, 300ths of a second off Jeffrey. We're on board though with Torrenheim as he comes up towards the first sector, end of the first sector. He's 400ths up through the first sector, so not looking too bad. Our debutant in the Williams, and I think he is joining Sapmi King, of course, in the Williams, so it is an all-Norwegian pairing. What would you expect in Division 5 with two OWR drivers teaming up in the same team? It wouldn't be TTML without them.
Absolutely, and yeah, certainly they are a staple of this division in particular. I'm watching Torrenheim though, just invalidated on the exit of 6th. That was so marginal, and that corner is extremely strict. And yeah, I think he's been rather cruelly denied of a lap time. Looks like he's still pushing, so we'll see what it would have been there.
He should have came into the pits.
A lot of speed. Oh, sorry, what's it?
He should have came into the pits. He's only got 3 minutes left. He should have came into the pits and got 2 laps in.
Ooh,
and he would have... Sorry to cut in, he would have improved, I think, ahead of Jippy Storm as well.
Yeah. That is gonna be tight if he's actually gonna make it round and get back out in time to complete that final lap there. He's put in that Williams, so he clearly has a lot of pace. That was enough to put him right in that second row, but ultimately he's gonna have to rush now to get back into the mix there and just get a final lap in, because ultimately there's a lot of pressure on there. That invalidation has really cost him dearly.
Yeah, massive costing out on track. Nellis, I was just going to come on board, but he's just started the lap, but he's invalidated, I think, coming out of turn 1. So Nellis not on a lap. He will have to stay out there, I'm afraid, and save up his fuel and save up his ERS as well for deployment out on track. Just trying to see on board if there's anybody on lap. Sapmi King is on a lap, and he's actually just ahead of Nellis out on track. Let's see what the Norwegian can do. Trondheim, of course, was improving through the middle sector, and he's 2 tenths down through the middle sector, Sapmi King, as he now comes around through turn 7 and 8, and then towards turn 9 and 10. I think he's going to come into the pit lane as well. Has he got enough time left? It's about a 45-second turnaround. Not. It's going to be so tight. He's not going to do it. He's going to have to come out with about 50 seconds to go, surely.
Yeah, I cannot see him making that back up there. You mentioned Nellis. He is now over the line and kicking off another flying lap. The only car not on the board at the moment is going to have to try and work for that one. Manuelson's around the final corner, runs a bit wide, and now catapults towards the line, but it's not an improvement on a medium lap.
Wow.
So not the lap the McLaren was after, and at the moment we'll settle for no higher than 14th at the moment. Now we've got Mays, TTG Academy man, round the penultimate corner, uses as much of the track as he possibly can. 4th gear final corner now, flying up to the line, and that Mercedes. And Tekken, what's going on there? It's just we got Mays into 5th place there and goes through, so a little bit of an improvement, not enough to quite challenge the top marks, but not a bad lap at all, and he will sit back there, P5. But we're waiting now for some of the top guys now to kick off their final laps. We're into the last minute here in qualifying. These guys are going to have to get over the line soon, and we can get to it very shortly. I cannot wait to see how this quality session evolves. Nellis is around the final turn, up to the line, goes up to 6th. That's a good lap, right to death under pressure, and that shows character. Up onto the 3rd row on the grid. That's a good lap from Nellis, but now we're seeing a lot of drivers now lining up to the line. You got Jeffrey, only goes into 12, not in that top 10, and now we're a little bit of a break to our next cars. 20 seconds left to go. What's going on?
Tekken a 10th up in the middle sector. That is what's going on. The Racing Point man hoping to try and improve ahead of Jippy Storm, his teammate, out on track as he now comes around the final 2 corners. Tekken really attacking turn 9 and now through turn 10. Down to 4th gear, out of the corner. He's going to go 2nd. What's it going to be? No, he goes home! Tekken with a flying final sector. What a lap from Tekken. 1.5 tenths of a second ahead of Atlas Coppo. Atlas Coppo a 10th down through the middle sector. Game on now for Atlas Coppo to really put a lap in. He's going to be one of the next to come across the line. He's not improving. He's drifting off the time unless he sets an absolute miracle final sector. Atlas Coppo is going to have no chance on Tekken's pole lap. I'm sorry, but Atlas Coppo now around the final 2 corners. Here he comes. I don't think he's going to improve. He's invalidated. He's out wide as well on the grass. Atlas Coppo across the line. What could have been? We've got 0 not on a lap. Jeffrey has just came across the line. He's improved, I think, there. 104.3 for Jeffrey, goes 9th. That is pretty much qualifying over. 0 2 tenths down. I think that's everyone, to be honest. Nellis into the pit lane. Tekken out there on a lap. 0 out there on a lap. I think that's qualifying done, to be honest. Tekken on top, Atlas Coppo 2nd, Jippy Storm in 3rd.
That was a remarkable lap from Tekken. Wow, wow, wow. A 103.4, a 0 goes straight into the wall and ends the session in a rather dramatic fashion. But yeah, I am quite stunned by that. Blew both of our predictions out the water, James. Wow. A 103.4. Atlas Coppo, brilliant lap as well. They were head and shoulders above the field here in quali. Of course, the race is a different matter, but those two on the front row proving to be comfortably the class of the field. I can't wait to see how they clash in the race in a few minutes' time. Let's see, of course, when they get down to the 36 lap race in Austria, who will come out on top here today. I cannot wait.
Let's have a run through the grid order then when it does appear. And it is Tekken who takes it from Atlas Coppo. To be honest, you would argue that the front two are well ahead of the rest of the field. Tekken, Atlas Coppo on the front row of the grid, separated by a 1/10.5 of a second. Jimmy Storm in third with Rock City in fourth. Maze in fifth with Nellis in sixth. Invictus 7th, Zero in eighth. Jeffrey in ninth, all separated by less than a second. Maximus in 10th with Torenheim in 11th on his debut. Silas in 12th, Nilsson in 13th, Passel's 14th, Storm in 15th, Sapmi King in 16th, and DN200G in 17th, right down the bottom of the field. But everyone managed to get a lap in. That is the most important thing. But here we go, in towards qualifying. Talking about race strategy, when do you expect the guys on a set of soft compound tyres to pit in? Because I've covered the action this week, and it's normally from around lap 9 or lap 10 we get to see those guys come into the pits for a set of hard compound tyres a little bit later if they want to go mediums.
And there's another thing to factor in. Look at your screen. That is not exactly a bright and sunny Red Bull Ring. It is very overcast, and that's another thing for the drivers to factor in. And I think, look at the tyre choices outside the top 10, because I reckon that if there could be rain, there is a possibility here, then the tyre choices that they make are going to be quite telling to see what we're going to see later on in the race. But of course, everyone inside the top 10, I think the vast majority, are going to be on soft tyres, and they're going to be maybe potentially a disadvantage for race pace. But of course, they've managed to get themselves onto that track position. It's always that dilemma ahead of races. It's very dark and gloomy though here at Spielberg, so we'll see how this all shapes up there. And now lining up, if you look outside that top 10, we've got quite a bit of a mix-up here. Soft and mediums, James. Look at that. You can see now that mix of strategies, and we'll see, of course, which strategy is going to prevail through the race and which one's going to be more effective.
Just spotting, actually, Zero has dropped to the bottom of the field. Oh. Now, he qualified within the top 10. I was wondering why Torenheim was on a set of mediums in 10th. He didn't qualify there. I think he qualified in 11th. Zero down to the back of the field. Did he disconnect at all during that session, I wonder?
I didn't see anything, so
I didn't.
I'm very puzzled by that. But yeah, whatever it is, I have seen that glitch before actually in other leagues, so I think there may have been just a little bit of a bug there, and he's been on the receiving end of it. I'm not sure. I don't think he would have received a grid penalty or anything. We didn't see that either. So
no.
Very puzzling for Zero, and hugely unfortunate as well. He can't really do anything about it, and he's going to have to work his way back up from the back of the field there, and that's not at all what he was after to start this race.
Yeah, it might be the case, actually. He might have joined late in qualifying. That could be another thing as well, and that might have brought out the bug, which is unfortunate. Cosmasters really need to fix these bugs on multiplayer, especially for us, the spectators, and for you, guys, the viewers. As Tekken now comes around the final corner to line onto the grid, I can hear two of myself again in the background. I'll ask myself, what is your prediction for your top 3, Dan?
I'm gonna go a bit boring, say Tekken for the win, because yeah, I think that he's got that sort of pedigree there, the experience. I'm gonna say Rock City in second, just because I think that he showed a lot of promise early on in that qualifying. Maybe has a bit more in the tank, and I'll say another championship contender, Maximus. He'll work his way back up and from 9th place on the grid and try and grab a podium, but usually my predictions are awful, so we'll see how that shapes up now as the back of the grid. Now all settled, everyone ready to go, and we can get ready now. Seconds out for the Austrian Grand Prix. The 5 red lights are now on here for round 6 in Austria of TTML. And it is lights out and away we go. Tekken gets a good start, bogged down off the start as well from Jibby Storm just in behind, but Tekken and Atlas Coppo side by side down in towards turn 1. Tekken takes the lead through turn 1. Little bit of contact further down the field. I think Jibby Storm got close to Rock City. Maze is round through turn 1. I think he got caught in the outside curb. Not sure if there was a little bit of contact there. I certainly didn't see anything from the wide out camera angle. Jibby Storm trying to go around the outside of Rock City on the road towards turn 3. Be careful, everyone in behind. Nilsson, Zero, Maximus I think going 3 wide through
through there. Rock City though and Jibby Storm side by side, drag race down towards turn 4. Can Jibby Storm try and get the move around the outside of turn 4? No, he can't. Rock City will have to bail. No, he won't actually. He goes right around the outside. The Dutchman now going through turn 6. He's on the inside line. Rock City on the outside line. Brilliant stuff by Jibby Storm. He's through and he's up to 3rd. That is how to race around turn 6 at Austria. Fantastic stuff from Jibby Storm. Rock City in 7th. The front two though have pulled away by 1.3 seconds. Tekken leads. Atlas Copo 2nd. Nellis has had a poor run out as well, as Invictus has got him down in towards turn number 9, and Invictus through and he's up into 6th position. Nellis dropping down probably because he's run out of ERS on this lap, but at the end of lap 1 it is Tekken who leads, from Atlas Copo in 2nd, Jibby Storm in 3rd, and let the graphics commence on the left hand side. It's terrible.
That was quite a dramatic opening lap there. Thoroughly enjoyed that one. And Jimmy Storm, that was sensational driving to get out into that podium place and try and back up his teammate. Mace has had to go through the pit lane. That's heartbreaking for the Mercedes, going off at turn 1. What are the tyres? Looks like it's gonna be, it feels like he's being held for a lot, maybe a bit of a graphical glitch. Away he goes, he's on the soft tyres yet again. As now we've got Jimmy Storm trying to defend again from Rock City, ready outside, but doesn't quite come up there. As further back Invictus and Silas with Will, the Alpha Red gets squeezed to the inside and they come together. Invictus stays ahead, but that was very, very aggressive, and he's ultimately able to keep the position, but that was a little bit too me. Wheel to wheel banging can often result in tears for both drivers there. Invictus just about stays ahead. Silas on the offensive, but wow, that could have gone much worse than it did.
Yeah, Silas really been cost the time as well, as Jeffrey is on the back of him out on track. We are now on to lap 3. The DRS enabled, by the way, came up, and it is DRS enabled coming on lap 2. And I'm not sure why this is the case, but it's saying Jeffrey's running DRS on my end. Now he does. Invictus in AI mode slightly. Here comes Silas around the outside. He shouldn't really gone in AI mode there, the McLaren, because here comes the Alfa Romeo around the outside of him. Jeffrey's going to have a go as well, as he tries to go around the outside of Invictus. They make contact between Silas and Invictus. Very close, but Maximus takes a full advantage of Jeffrey's poor run, and now Maximus could get 2 for 1. He's down on the inside, now switches to the outside on Invictus. Invictus defends hard, and Invictus just about hangs on. Jeffrey and Maximus though now going side by side. Division 5 really kicking off here. Jeffrey trying to go around the outside of Maximus, and he has he managed to do it around the outside of turn 6. Maximus was very early on the brakes, and Jeffrey through and he's up to 7th. Brilliant stuff. But Maximus, gotta be honest, he was early on the brakes there.
Yeah, he was a little bit hesitant, and you cannot afford to do that in a field like this. Jeffrey taking full advantage, goes through P7 now for the Mercedes man in a drive with the field potentially a little bit wide off of turn 10. He's got to try and watch out for that there, as now, of course, with DRS enabled, Rock City can potentially try and get back, and Jeffrey Storm is a little bit of an error, and he's very low on the overtake there. He's drained his ERS, I think, in those opening 3 laps, and now suffering there. Jeffrey Storm may be able to hold on to that 3rd place. Now we've got Invictus coming back at Silas. Silas has to defend that inside line. Invictus looks around the outside, maybe look for a drive off the corner there. Silas picks up a penalty for cutting the inside of the hairpin there. He's got to watch that there. McLaren now with the overtake on, closing all the time, looks towards the inside line. Very can he get that one stopped on the inside? He's just about managed it. Silas back on the ERS, trying to get himself back in front there as the inside line towards turn 6 there, but round the outside goes in back. He's getting a squeeze down there. Surely they're still side by side into turn 7 there, wheel to wheel and through goes Silas, but he runs wide, and Invictus tries to complete it, goes through 5th place. Wow, this midfield race against absolutely sensational. Invictus up in 5th place, and now he's got to try and stretch his legs out there. James, please take over. I don't know what's going on. What a fight we're seeing here.
Yeah, Silas right on the back of Invictus as we approach turn 1, but that was phenomenal. And Silas has got into the back of him. Into the tackle, Silas. There was more contact there with Jeffrey. I think Jeffrey's lost right side end plate. No, he hasn't actually. Maximus now taking 2 for 1 up the hill, and now Maximus could get P6 out of absolutely nothing. Oh, and Jeffrey outbreaks himself there. It's all getting a little bit temperamental, I think, out on track. Zero and Nellis are now going to come through as well. Zero, by the way, from 17th on the grid. He's up to 8th position out on track, but I've got to be honest, the tempers are beginning to fray out on track, and they do not want to get angry because the stewards will be getting on the receiving end of these drivers.
as Nils moves his way through. He's past Silas now, continues to fall through the field. Jeffrey as well with front wing damage runs wide, and Nils onto the back of books towards the inside. They are wheel to wheel now through turn 7 through turn 8, and Nils just about able to get in front. Surely there's going to be pit stops at the conclusion of this lap. Jeffrey in that Mercedes forced to pit, and Silas goes round the outside. It's going to continue on, but Jeffrey with that mistake down there at the airpin has to pit here on lap 5, and that is bitterly disappointing for the Mercedes. Both Mercedes drivers coming to blows early on, and now they've got a mountain to climb if they want any decent points here today.
I wish we had Tom and our graphics, to be honest, because I would have loved to see a replay cam on that, because it almost looked like, to me, Jeffrey was going to go for a gap and make it 3 wide up towards turn 3, but didn't get the room because he got sandwiched in between the 2 cars and went short of space, and that is why I think he outbroke himself into the back of Silas, and that's why he's now down into the pit lane and in 16th position. Not the greatest start for the Mercedes in their pursuit of Racing Point. Racing Point having an absolute field day in terms of the constructors. We are through the first 6 laps out on track, and Tekken has pulled away 2.1 seconds out on track from Atlas Coppo in second. Jibby Storm and Rock City have been glued together like super glue on a chair. That's the worst
Atlas
possible.
Coppo's round! He's gone round just before the final corner, going towards the pit lane. The Ferrari man has gone off. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. He was in clean air, but he's made that mistake. And the man that was running on, started on the front row, ran down. He's got huge wing damage. He must have went into the wall. That is so disappointing. And now Tekken has nearly a 6-second buffer off of the front of the field. He's dominating that, but that is heartbreak for Atlas
Rock City! Rock City, I thought was going to try and go around the outside of Jibby Storm. The sun has suddenly came out of absolutely nowhere. The tyres will begin to warm up as a result. Here comes Rock City, though, on the back of Jibby Storm. Switches to the outside line. Jibby Storm on the inside line. Think he's going to say goodbye to him. To be honest, out of here. Beautiful move by Rock City. Nearly looked like Hamilton and Albon, to be honest, of this show in Austria. But Rock City managed to get the move done. And he's through, and he's up into second position. Nilsson is round at the top of the hill through turn 3.
Ah, yeah, indeed there. In that McLaren, he's going to try and pick that back up. And now he's going to slip further down the field. I'm just keeping an eye on this battle over P2 now out on track. They have been superb, and they have not been separated. Further back, though, Tornheim's got past Atlas Coppo as well, who continues to suffer now that wing damage. And the Ferrari surely has the pit. You've got Sammy's going to have to be careful with that Williams. That's very, very wide around the penultimate. Is able to get through Atlas Coppo into the pits. That's his 3rd car now, so has had to come in for wing damage in the opening 7 laps. Here in Austria, it's been such an action-packed and a relatively incident-packed, unfortunately, opening to this Austria Grand Prix. And now those guys further down the field, they've got to be praying for a safety car.
Oh, Sammy King!
Yellows. Sammy King's off. What's happened there?
Turn 1, out on the outside of turn 1, and safety car. Literally, as soon as you said that, the safety cars came out. DN200G, there he is, left-hand side, and actually his rear tyre has came off as well as his front. So I think he's hit the wall at high speed there, coming out of turn 1. He's trying to correct the car, and he hasn't. And DN200G, actually, as I ride on board with, has just picked up a drive-through penalty for speed under the safety car as well. He's down in 12th, so costly. But what does this do? Atlas Coppo, to be honest, I think is thankful for that safety car period now. But he's now going to be at a disadvantage because the top guys are going to come in. Atlas Coppo's on the other side of the track. Tekken already into the pit lane. Atlas Coppo has got to stick to a delta time. That's what we've got to remember. These guys have got to stick to a delta time. They can't go hell for leather and try and get the undercut on these guys because it's just pure silliness, to be honest. But Tekken out on track. And he is onto a set of medium competitive tyres. He is not going one stop to the end of the race, is he? 26 laps?
And looking behind there, I think Rock City's gone for the exact same strategy, but Jimmy Storm has opted for the hard tyres, a safer and possibly wiser strategy call, as well as I think it's that Maximus that's made your comment there on those softs. Maximus on a set of softs. He's obviously going 2-stop. Now, we saw the pit stop strategy earlier on. It was around lap 14 to 16. Normally the AWS, the graphics that come up on here, are wrong by a couple of laps. You've got to take it about 2 or 3 laps earlier than initial. So Maximus has came in. He is bound to go 2-stop. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if those tyres make lap 20 and then he pits in for a set of mediums to the end of the race. But that strategy now has cost him a P5 finish. I'm certain of that. Yes, but we'll see, of course, that what's going to happen now is that he has to absolutely fly through those front runners, and you saw how quick that Tekken has been in the opening. He absolutely blasted away from the field in the opening few laps. Maximus, to make that strategy work, has to careen through particularly those hard runners, and if he can't make quick and early progress, then there's going to be a long day at the office for the championship contender, and ultimately, at the moment at least, looks like he's on to losing heavy points to Tekken, who we know might not make the checkered flag on those mediums, but if he does, well, that championship fight could really open up here today.
To be honest, Invictus, I think, is in a good position as well, but as some of the guys come into the pit, I think Jeffrey has come into the pit, and in fact, DN200G has picked up a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Jeffrey. That is underneath the safety car, and DN200G now down in 8th position. It is showing, I'm not sure if it's shown on your screen, it's showing him as being 1 lap, and I'm not sure what that means. He has got a drive-through, but he can't serve it under the safety car.
Yeah, I think, well, that must be the case then, surely. I think that's usually so. Yeah, I'm a little bit puzzled, to be honest, but yeah, that's usually what happens. You can't serve drive-thrus or VSCs. I'm sure that's how it works. So yeah, ultimately that's going to cost him dearly, because now, once that safety car peels in, he's going to have to serve that within just a couple of laps, and yeah, that's going to be a major blow to his race.
Jeffrey down in 16th position as well. He is not really liking Austria at all here tonight. He'd rather be in Canada, to be honest. He'd rather be travelling on the other side of the world and picking up that second place like he did last week. But we are on lap 10 out of 36. We are underneath the safety car. It is myself and Daniel Hoggard that are taking you through the action out on track. And there's Tekken who leads, Rock City second, Jibby Storm in third. But let's just speak about Tekken and Rock City, because we've been on about them before, but they're on a set of medium compound of tyres. Now, obviously they're going to be better short-term underneath the safety car. After the safety car comes in, they will be better short-term, probably within the first 10 or 12 laps of their stint. Jibby Storm and Invictus will be hoping that those tyres, those mediums, go really off the cliff quite early on, and Jibby Storm and Invictus can pick up the pieces longer term. To be honest, it's not a bad strategy, I don't think, from the guys 3rd, 4th and 6th. I think Zero, certainly, he's got more pace than the guys ahead. Don't be surprised if you see Zero winning this one.
He's certainly going to be in with a shout. I think I agree with you there, because remember, he started dead last and has worked his way up to now being the 3rd highest hard runner, and we both, I think myself and you, James, predict that to be the most sensible strategy to run through the safety car. Of course, one thing you've got to consider, we've already had a safety car just about 9 laps into the race. You know, there's every chance that we're going to get another one, and that could favour the medium runners again. So it could swing, the pendulum can swing either way here, and as it can sometimes happen in Formula 1 racing, luck can come into it. But if we have green flag running to the end, those top two, and particularly those soft runners out there as well, they're really going to struggle to bring those home, and they could be really on the edge of it. But now, safety car in at the conclusion of lap 11, and now at the end of this lap, we can get back to racing here, and we're going to see how this restart changes things up.
Tekken normally allows about 5 or 10 seconds on that safety car. However, that safety car is going very slow coming out of turns 7 and 8. So Tekken has now got to back up the field. Don't be surprised if you see him actually go for it on the entrance into turn 9. Safety car is coming through turn 9 now. Of course, these guys have got to race right when the safety car line comes, so they can start racing from then. You can already see he's picking up the pace. Now down in towards the final 2 corners, and now Tekken lets rip. In on that racing point on a set of medium compound tyres. He now leads us off to start lap 12. We're a third of the way through here in Austria. It's Tekken who leads, Rock City second, but Maximus has got a tremendous start. He's trying to go around the outside of Invictus for 4th position. He's not going to get the move done. The DRS will be enabled in a couple of laps time. Fantastic exit from Maximus, and job done. This might be the easiest overtake you might see all night, but here comes Invictus coming back with the overtake mode, trying to go around the outside here on Maximus. Hard against softs. I think Hards are going to come out on top. Wow. Invictus, brilliant move by Maximus there for 4th position, but now Maximus is surely going to have to come back at him with this overtake mode, but no, he's not going to be close enough. Invictus through, and he's up into 4th position. I think we saw a change of position further up the field, further down the field as well. Silas is through on Atlas Copo, I believe, as well, as he just runs wide coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, I'm just Still Goku with that move from Invictus. Wow, wow, wow. As Maximus runs into the back of the McLaren down there. Bit of contact between them. I'm not sure if he's got away with that one. I'm checking that to see that front wing. If he is just so safe and sound, I think he's got away with it. Yeah, so it looks like the Red Bull man is going to continue on and try and hunt down that McLaren. It wasn't optimal for Maximus. He needed to try and clear Invictus as quickly as possible, and now he's not able to get through as Nellis goes to the inside on zero, and now he's going past his teammate down the main straight comfortably, and a turn one is gonna go through zero. A little bit of oversteer, got to try and contain those hard tires. Now Maximus comes back, and Invictus, they're gonna go parallel down towards the hairpin of turn three. They're level into the braking zone, and this time look maybe the inside line that prevails. Maximus turns the tables now and gets through fourth place there, continuing now a charge on the soft tires. This time it managed to come through, and now he's got Jeffrey Storm up the road there to try and hunt down.
He's got to make those soft compound of tyres work though. He's got to pull away now from Invictus, and already the gap is already out to 0.8 of a second as he now comes through. Maximus now can chase down Jibby Storm, who's in third. Atlas Copo and Silas having a good battle coming through turn 6. Atlas Copo all the way around the outside on Silas. Will this be moved done for the Norwegian? Yes, it is. Atlas Copo through, up into 9th position. However, you might see the racing out on track. What we can't miss is the overtaking, and the racecraft certainly out on track has been phenomenal. It's probably been the best I've seen all season in Division 5 so far, which is fantastic. Silas just dropping off now the back of Atlas Copo. Passels is under pressure from Mays. Mays has recovered well, actually. Think about that safety car period. Jeffrey obviously picked up a couple of penalties. He had a collision with DN200G, and he's down in 13th as well. But now Mays has got a big chance. He was down in the back of the field at one stage, and now goes for a move down the inside on Parcells. That is late on the brakes from Mays. No, normally Atlas Copo's round. Atlas Copo round on the exit at turn 3, I think that was. And now Jeffrey's going to have Parcells possibly as well. Mercedes hunting now are here in Austria. Down the inside goes Jeffrey. Good move. Jeffrey through, and he's up into 11th. Parcells backs out. Mercedes beginning to charge through. Not over until the fat lady sings.
And also, as you were covering that there, Nell's got through an Invictus then, moving up and chasing now Max was up the road there. There's too much battling out on track for us to keep up at the moment. As now, Jeffrey Storm, the leading hard runner, still is going to be under huge pressure here, surely. Maximus, DRS, runs into the back of the racing point down the main straight. Very peculiar, but now he's claimed that inside line into turn 1. Is going to go through there, checking that front wing again. Looks like he's just about fine. Now Jimmy Storm's going to have that DRS. He's just going to come back. Invictus, or sorry, Maximus moving around a little bit there to try and cover him off there. But the racing point could be going through. Maximus doesn't retaliate down the inside. Jeffrey's out in turn 1. Jeffrey must have spun it into the inside wall. Heartbreak for the Mercedes there, and that's going to do so much for championship hopes there. That's going to be such a blow. He's out. Doesn't look like we're going to get a safety car. I hold that thought, because the yellows are still out there. The Mercedes still seems to be sitting out there on track, but Jeffrey out of the race has been a nightmare race for him today.
Yeah, Jeffrey out of the race. I think he's done, to be honest, what one driver did in Division 2 qualifying and in the race. Can't pinpoint who it was, but there was a driver in Division 2 last night, or Division 1 I think it was actually, that might have just lost it on that inside, on the outside curve through turn 1. I think that's where Jeffrey has lost it. Jibby Storm, though, is literally being pushed around by Maximus at this stage. But watch out, because Nellis, 5 tenths away, AlphaTauri against Red Bull, sister car against sister car, could be quite intriguing. Maximus now down the inside, can he get the move done? Oh, he makes contact! Oh, and Nellis has been caught up in that as well. Carnage through turn 1. Nellis has been caught up in that, unfortunately.
Invictus.
Wrong place at the wrong time. And now Invictus can get the run on Maximus. Maximus is going to have to come back. These two are literally stuck like super glue once again. There's a couple of laps ago, these two were battling. Now safety car. Safety car out on track for the damage received from Nellis. Second one within 7 laps.
Yeah, he's getting involved in everything. Wow, that was just in the entry to turn 1 they came together. Wow, that was quite dramatic. And now what does this do? The medium runners have more of a chance now to try and get to the end of the race, because they can manage their tyres a little bit more under the safety car. I'm sure that's exactly what they were hoping for. What's the strategy call for Maximus and Nellis though? Nellis, of course, surely is going to have to come in at the end of this lap. What does Maximus do though? And of course now, after getting involved in yet another bit of contact, and ultimately this one not coming off, but Jimmy Storm's really lost out from that there, down to 7th place in that racing point. He is going to have to try and fight that back. But ultimately, Racing Point, they've gone from a brilliant day to still a very good day, but ultimately the second car has taken quite a bit of a blow in that accident.
Yeah, such a shame. I think Nellis obviously into the pit lane to repair that front wing damage. Parcells is also in, interestingly. I still feel, though, most of the field should have came in for a set of mediums to the end of the race, because 22 laps on a set of mediums is doable. Yes, you'll have about 75% tyre wear, but 22 laps on mediums can and will work. Unless, no, actually, I'm totally overdoing my maths, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It's about 20 laps, actually, for a set of medium compound of tyres. I do apologise, my maths clearly failing me as I didn't pass my maths GCSE. There you go.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us, James. But yeah, but I think that what happened is that most of those hard runners didn't want to sacrifice their track possession. Now, of course, a lot of the guys further down the field on the mediums, and it's going to be very intriguing to see them try and fight it back. Maximus is the strategy call that actually baffles me quite a bit here. Still out there on the soft tyres and is going to stretch that. Surely he can't take it to the end. I don't think that he's actually allowed to. I'm not sure what tyre he started on. I'm going to check now, actually. He did actually also start on the softs.
Tekken in, Rock City in. No, actually, they've totally juked me there.
Oh.
Terrible.
But yeah, Maximus, I think he's on the back foot here as Storm actually goes into the pit lane in the Haas. It's going to drop right to the rear end of the field, but also probably on a better tyre strategy at that point. It's still down to Tekken and Rock City. Can they take those tyres all the way through? It'd be quite an achievement if they can, but that safety car's really done a lot to help them. But Maximus is going to have to come in, and with the field bunched up by the safety car, I really don't see a good result coming here for the championship contender.
Yeah, Tekken might have to make that to the end of the race. What you've got to imagine, though, in Tekken's position, is how he's going to get those tyres to the end of the race. I think now, to be honest, if he was to pit in for a fresh set of mediums, he would have done it by now. I think he's now committed. If there's another safety car, it might change things, but if there's not, I think Tekken and Rock City, respectfully, are committed to the end of the race on a set of medium compound of tyres. But you did see 22 or 23 laps in Division 2, and we had a couple of punctures out on track. So that might be the case. It is all about the driver and the tyre management out on track. Basically, as well, with Maximus obviously being in third, he will have to pit again, but what he's got to do is manage pace and tyre management as well on that set of soft compound of tyres, because he doesn't want to come from under attack from Invictus and Zero, who are going longer term. Yeah, but we're gonna see how that all shapes up. We're now just about half distance here in this Austrian Grand Prix, and still Invictus is on for a good result here on leading hard runner, but with any safety car period, ultimately his possession is going to weaken. Unless, of course, he gets unless all the top three in front of him get involved in an incident and he goes through. But apart from that, safety cars are going to weaken his position. Currently, we have 6 hard runners left, and they're going to be the ones on the defensive because they have not only the oldest tyres in the field but also the hardest. And yeah, the likes of Pasels, they're going to be charging up to them, trying to make those manoeuvres, and really Maximus, now the lone car on the soft tyres, is going to be struggling. But now as the field seems to converge, we're going to get back to racing very, very soon, hopefully on this lap, and we'll see now Tekken's going to lead it out again there, Rock City on his tail, but so far Tekken has been absolutely equal to everyone in the field. His lead so far has not come under threat. Gotta be honest, the person that has really been helped out, I think, in terms of some of the contact earlier on, was Mays. He spun through turn 1, he was right down the bottom of the field, and now he's in 8th position. So essentially he's gained 9 positions out on track as the safety car is once again going to come in this lap. Tekken is going to lead us in on this formation lap, on the safety car lap, I should say, on this in lap. Safety car going quite slow, and Tekken will once again on the outside, my voice is going. On the exit of turn 9, he will begin to go out on track, I think, in terms of the pace. So Tekken now will just slowly ramp it up and put the pressure on the guys behind for him to respond. But Rock City is sticking right to his backside out on track. As we now about to go racing once again. Tekken's going to wait to the final corner this time, and now he goes. Tekken says go, and that is a phenomenal response from Rock City in behind as well. He just drops off 6/10, but a great restart by Tekken. He leads across the line. Rock City in second, Maximus in third, and Nellis has spun underneath the safety car. That is through turn 9. Not sure what happened there. Did he get caught on the outside curb, or...
I think he must have done it. I didn't quite catch the beginning of it, but he definitely did go round, and they probably would have unsettled the car and he entered to the corner there. As Jimmy Storm gets very, very close to the back of Zero, went off the track to avoid there. Now Silas is down the inside, can't quite find the traction, as now they're all beginning to stack up behind Invictus, who's having to be on the defensive and using a lot of ERS to stay ahead of the game in P4, but just don't manage it now. As look, now we've got Silas looking down the inside of Jimmy Storm, and Nelson down the inside of Passels there. The Rhino gets the switchback though, and gets good traction here, good momentum off the corner. They are still though going to be side by side. Dead in turn 6, and it's Passels in the end that has to yield that one out there. More fighting on the restarts. These guys absolutely going at it. It's been a phenomenal spectacle in the opening 20 laps of this Austrian Grand Prix. The McLaren through the Renault backwards is up at the front. The Tekken once again beginning to just move himself forward. Their 1.2 second gap broken the DRS already, and the Racing Point currently has been the equal to every threat that Rock City and the likes have thrown his way. Tekken at the moment, they're comfortably out in front already after a lap of green.
Yeah, here comes Maximus as well on the back of Rock City, but Rock City... But to be honest, he is a debutant coming into tonight as well, so he's best out of the debutants here, Tornheim being the other one, of course. But Rock City in second, Maximus third. They pulled a mile out. 2 seconds might not seem like much, but honestly, underneath the safety car restart, it seems like an age. Maximus is now in third, 2.3 seconds ahead of Invictus. Running down the hill, though, Nilsson has got a phenomenal run here on Maze. Just got to be careful with his ERS management. Maze nearly into the back of Silas. Goodness me, that was close on the brakes, and I'd be hoping that the Team Ineos-sponsored Mercedes doesn't become a bicycle out on track and he ends up pulling over himself.
Yes, indeed, he's got to try and watch those brakes, but he's getting very close to there. I think we've got Nielsen's off again, as now Maze comes back at Silas towards the inside of the penultimate corner. Did not go side by side through here. Are they going to pull it off though? They're wheel to wheel. Silas has to pull off. Maze goes through. Fantastic manoeuvre up into 7th. These guys are fighting to the nail, and wow, it is something to watch. Maze up into 7th, and these guys absolutely going at it out there on track. They're glorious stuff to watch. The Mercedes is through, but now he's got 2 seconds to try and make up on the train ahead of harder runners led by Invictus. Yeah, Maximus right on the back of Rock City. He was quite close enough to the back of through turn 3, and now Maximus will open up the taps, and you know what? You can see what's coming, because Maximus down the inside line will have the car ahead. Actually, later on the brakes was Rock City. Just went into the side of him there, Maximus, and now they're side by side. Coming out through turn 6, Maximus will try and maintain the traction around the outside, but I think the mediums is going to have the advantage coming through turn 6, and then do indeed. Rock City is through, and he's still in that second position. Maximus in third, but all of this fighting letting Tekken get away, but more importantly, Invictus is beginning to eat into that advantage, and in fact I think Maximus is coming into pits. He is. Into the pit lane he comes, so Maximus in, and he should have pitted underneath the safety car. I feel it's ruined his race and ruined his strategy. He might be hoping for another safety car, and if it doesn't come out, then to be honest, set of mediums, 13 laps, he could have easily got that on 18. Yeah, I think they'll be ruining that strategy decision there. He's going to fall well down the field, and this is huge for the championship with Tekken dominating up at the front of the field there. That is going to be so much for Maximus. He's got 14 now. He's got so much to make up as far down the field there. Got Alice Cobos down the inside. Oh, Nielsen, they almost come together. Does the mediums have enough traction off of the hairpin? The McLaren is struggling for grip, and the Ferrari with a little bit more momentum down the back straight may just look to secure that 8th place there, but Nielsen's back around the outside, gets it all locked up, and they're going to go wheel to wheel on the exit as well, but Cobos going to get ahead, and he's going to run now again on Silas. No way. To the outside now of turn 6 there. The Alfa Romeo jumper, he's going to squeeze him right out to the edge of the track, and Nielsen's come back at them round the inside. They're almost losing it on the curve. Alice Cobo's still fighting for this. He's chasing down Silas just up the road. Wow, 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 what have I just seen? A lap 24 on the spinner.
Torrenheim ran in the background, just saw that in the background. He lost control, I think, coming out of turn 8. He's got right side end plate damage. He's still going to continue on, but I definitely saw that in the background. Passel's now through on Nilsson. It is now Nilsson eating day, I think, out on track for these cars. As Atlas Coppo's gone through, Passels has gone through, but more importantly, Salas has gone through as well. But here comes Atlas Coppo on the back of Salas once again. Can he get the move done around the outside? He's got fresher mediums compared to the set of hards that Salas is running, but no, he's not close enough, and I think he's not going to be close enough down the hill in towards turn 4, and 0 through on Invictus. That was down in towards turn 4 as well. Now Atlas Coppo actually, he's gone into him. Atlas Coppo, I think Salas just parked the car perfectly, I think. More than entitled to do so with the defensive line. Didn't come across him at all. Atlas Coppo, I think, just tried to take the natural racing line. Got into the side of him. There's contact. It's as simple as that. He can't be doing that, though.
Yeah, but I'm actually baffled as to how that contact sent the Ferrari spinning off in that violent manner out there on track. Yeah, that was baffling to me, and Atlas Coppo, he's showed such good pace all the way through today, but it's been caught up in the wars, unfortunately. Made a few errors, and ultimately, that has cost him dearly so far in this race. Tekken is flying up in front, over 4 seconds now clear of everyone behind, as now we've got Jimmy Storm there. He looks a little bit towards the inside. Invictus has to hang back, though, behind the McLaren just for the time being. Maybe that will change, of course, as he's chasing down that McLaren driver. Ultimately can't quite get through. Going towards turn 4, passes as well, as close to Silas. The Alpha has to look towards that inside, but just about able to stay ahead. No overtakes so far on this lap there, as Passos gets it all locked up there. Looks for a better exit, but yeah, just the pace of Tekken is phenomenal out there. Up at the front now. Overside's clear, but he's leaning towards that pit lane. Is the Racing Point race leader going to come in? He is! Wow, it's got another. Tornheim's off completely. Tornheim has gone off there at turn 4, but Tekken has gone in. Rock City has stayed out. Tekken is playing it extremely safe here. Tornheim out the race. Still yellows out there, but Tekken, wow, I was not expecting that. Just 10 laps away from the flag. He must have thought those mediums weren't going to make it.
Yeah, I definitely think the mediums aren't going to make it. Rock City is losing the time to 0 out on track. It's 1.8 seconds. That gap was 2.5. So Tekken now out of the pits. He's in relatively clear air, actually. So he's came out right behind Atlas Coppo. Now on a set of soft compound of tyres. What can he do on those tyres? There's not many guys fighting ahead of him either, so that is going to be positive, I think, on that front. Jibby Storm now on the back of Invictus, trying to go for the move. There's a yellow flag in sector 2, and it's Nilsson that's round. Nilsson that is round. He's into the wall on the exit. Actually, he's not into the wall. He's just lost the car on the apex. Tekken is already through, and Atlas Coppo gets the move done. Salas through on Passels once again. Passels trying to go around the outside, I think. But goodness me, I think we need Ted Kravitz in here.
Let's cut to Ted real quick. He's down in the pit lane, but yeah, Tekken out 9th place, has so much to make up, but look at the closing speed he has on ASR Storm there. Phenomenal apex speed, and now he's honing in on that Haas driver there, looking for any sort of manoeuvre there. He's running wide and down the inside already. Tekken is flying. Can he possibly get up back to the race leaders? So that's opportunistic, and that is what he needs. He's now got Passels up in his sights, but looking now up towards the fight for the podium, because Jimmy Stormer's looking to try and claim that. He is side by side with Invictus towards the outside into the hairpin, but it's very nicely defended from Invictus, but he's slow off the corner. And now Jimmy Storm has got very, very little ERS to use, but he's using absolutely everything as he goes up towards the outside, wheel to wheel on the brakes. Invictus squeezes him into the braking zone, but Jimmy Storm might just make a bit of contact between them there at the Racing Point, still hanging around the outside. Eventually has the yield. Invictus left as little space as possible, and somehow they got through that. They are racing absolutely immensely for this podium place. Invictus just about hangs on. Jimmy Storm unable to get through. We'll see if he can go again, as we have 10 laps to go now in this race.
And look who was catching him behind as well. I said don't rule him out. Mays is into 5th position. That gap, by the way, for the lead of the race is now 0.8 of a second. Passels has been overtaken by Tekken. That's easy, down in towards turn 9 for Tekken. He has now got to get past Silas. Silas now will be a sitting target out on track. It'll literally be like James Bond firing at a villain in No Time to Die, coming out in cinemas in November, of course. Tekken on the back of Silas. A little bit of cheeky promotion there, but Tekken now on the back of Silas. running up the hill. We've got 8 more laps to go. Rock City leads for now. 0 second, Invictus third, but here comes second. Down the inside, Silas has to yield. No other way. Tekken through and he's up into 6th position. Now in clear air. This is the chance now he can prove. 6 seconds to Maze. 8 laps to go. Gain 1.5 seconds per lap. I've got to be honest. Tekken is in a good opportunity here for top 3.
I have to say that was a very smooth promotion on your end, James, but we've got to look up there as I think Maximus is also on the charge there, able to get past NSR Storm there. He's back into that top 10, but ultimately it's not been a good day for Maximus and he's got a lot of work to do. Rock City now holding that race lead, but now coming under all sorts of pressure. Zero is right there with him in his DRS and still no pit stop for your race leader. It looks like he might try and risk that one, and he's facing puncture territory, but still up for a decent result there as Nielsen picks up a penalty. Now, Zero from the back of the field, now trying to claim the race lead. What a remarkable drive this has been. He's going to cruise through surely towards the hairpin. Rock City tries on the right, and Zero's wide on the exit, and Rock City gets back underneath him there and gets the power out on the exit. Jimmy Storm's through on Invictus as well, so making quick progress as well off into that podium place. Zero's overtaking opportunity has come through and it's not quite paid off, but ultimately he's got time to try and make this manoeuvre. And wow, Zero, what a drive this would be. He was last on the grid after a bug that put him back there, and now chasing potential for the race win. Wow, 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 what a drive this has been.
If you told me that Zero would be in potential winning contention, I would have laughed at the start of this commentary. Honestly, he's been an absolute revelation out on track, but I fear the pressure might just be starting to get to him. Rock City obviously on that set of mediums, he knows he's going to overtake him at some point, but maybe mentally it's not all there. Zero might just hope for the move on Rock City. If he wants to get it done, down in towards turn 3 is the best opportunity out on track. Tekken, by the way, is half the gap on Maze. 3 seconds the gap from 6 out on track. So Tekken really beginning to fly. He's cut 1.5 seconds a lap, which is what he should do. Zero not close enough to the back of Rock City. We've got 6 more laps after this one to go. Rock City leads 0 second, Jippy Storm third, Invictus fourth. Maximus, however, is through an Atlas Copal down into the braking zone, up the hill and towards turn 10. Job done from Maximus. He is through and he's into 9th position out on track. And again, Maximus recovering well after his pit stop. An unfortunate pit stop, which he should have done underneath the safety car.
Yeah, now he's going to have to try and it's damage limitation now for the Red Bull driver, but he has quite a few cars still in his crosshairs. That is Silas and Passel, so he can still get some decent points away from this race. As Maze, you've said over and over not to count him out, and he is coming to the fore now. On to the rear end of Invictus. Invictus now trying to hold on to that 4th place as Tekken is cruising up to them though. The cap now 1.5 seconds. He's not out of this just yet. We have 6 laps left to go. His lap times are so consistent in the low 6s. He's right there, and at the moment he can be one to look out for. Zero's got to try and get on with it, and now he pulls towards the inside of Rock City for the race lead. Rock City breaks later though on the outside, trying to convert it round the hairpin. It's a fight for traction off the corner, and Rock City gets in front there. DRS is with Zero now, but I think he's too far away, and Rock City yet again fending off and managing to maintain that race lead. Passes now and Silas, they're going to go wheel to wheel now on the exit of the hairpin there, and now DRS is with Passes. He might just be able to hold out just in the lead of that position, and yes, he might just hold it, and we've got to look elsewhere for fighting because they are going at it. Maze is all over the back of Invictus. He's got older tyres than everyone in the field, but he's not letting that get in the way of him there, chasing him down 5th place, but ultimately now Tekken is right there with him now. Can he navigate these cars? Tekken with an extra pit stop could still win this race.
This will be unbelievable if Tekken can pull this off. It's going to be one of the best races and best drives that I've probably ever seen in League Racing commentary if he pulls this one off. He was down in 12th position coming out the pit lane. Invictus have been overtaken though. Jibby Storm down the inside on Invictus. These two fighting hard. Is going to give Maze a run, and is going to give, more importantly, Tekken a run as well. Tekken not using up much ERS. Here comes Invictus though. They make a little bit of contact side by side through the kink of turn 2. Now up the hill and towards turn 3. He's down the inside. Invictus hangs out around the outside. Great stuff from Invictus. Just about hangs on. Maze lose control of the car, slightly coming out, and that lets Tekken through up to 5th. Jibby Storm now down the inside on Invictus. These two have been fighting hammer and tongs all race, and he's now back down the inside. But watch out for Tekken on the run through. Invictus has been swallowed up there by Tekken. Surely he's going to have the outside run, but he's going to wait for the DRS, which I think is more important than anything else. He could get the run out of turn 7 and 8, but with 5 laps to go, 4.5 actually, if you're being picky, Rock City leads 0 second, Jibby Storm in third. But Tekken, he's got to navigate Invictus and Jibby Storm, and then he's in contention for the race win, and he still will have those tyres in. The tyres will still be there come the end of the race.
And one thing to mention is that he's actually the highest car. I just checked. He's the highest car that doesn't have a penalty. Everyone in front of him has 3 seconds, and Zero has an additional 5-second penalty that he hasn't served. But he's not going to let that get in his way at the moment, because he's back down the inside of the race leader Rock City. Can he get through this time? Onto the brakes. Tries to convert it. And I think now, finally, Zero to your race leaders. Tekken is looking at Invictus, and Maze is right there as well on the outside of the racing point. And Tekken's going to go for the barely enough space. Did exactly. He's thrown the McLaren and he squeezes through that tiny gap that was left by Invictus, taking up to 4th. He's on a charge now. He is hunting now. Currently, I think he's just got to try and get within 3 seconds of Zero. That's all he needs to try and get the race with his Maze. And Invictus is side by side. Invictus just about holds on. But the Mercedes is charging at him. Invictus is the one that's having to look over his shoulder because cars are flying up to him everywhere he looks at the moment there. Now, though, the racing points are right together. And they're going to go at it on track. Does Jimmy Storm get out of the way, or does he fight with his teammate there? Does he get out of the way? Here we go now. The DRS is in order there. They're both absolutely limited on the ERS. They don't have much to deploy, but surely this is going to be a done deal in just a matter of seconds. Now, off the corner, Invictus another penalty. Now, Tekken in the slipstream, pulls out to the outside, is going to breeze past. What a charge, what a drive. Tekken up to 3rd place now, and he's hunting for a race, went 3 laps.
Coming out of turn 3, unfortunate, no damage actually on that car, so Invictus can continue on. 6th place is the best he can hope for. The thing honestly, it has just literally went from sunshine to cloud in literally Rock City in puncture territory. Do not be surprised if those tyres puncture right at the end of the race. If he manages 26 laps on those tyres, I will have to applaud him at the end of this race. Zero leads the way, Rock City in 2nd, runs wide, so that's 3-second time penalty, but Tekken on the back, 1.4 seconds separating these guys, Zero hanging on, but now here comes the moment for Tekken. This is Rock City now for 2nd position. I think lunge it, go on. Tekken down the inside, he is going to lunge it down the inside line, very late on the brakes. Rock City gives him room, and to be honest, that was easy. Tekken through, and he's up into 2nd, forced Rock City into the mistake, which a driver should. Tekken through, and he's up to 2nd.
Yeah, but he did just pick up a 3-second penalty now. I think with Zero does have an extra 5 seconds. I can't see if he served it or not. So Tekken may still have to secure this one. Out on track, going for the victory here. Nilsson sets the fastest lap of the race there. He's stolen that away from Tekken, who had that fastest lap before. But now we have just over a lap to go. There has been pretty much non-stop action here in Austria. And tell you what, for a first race in TTML for myself, I've thoroughly enjoyed covering this one. But now, final lap here in Austria, and the fight for the win may still not be over there. They clear the N200G. We have 1 lap to go. That DRS has helped out Zero. He's going to have to try and hold on and hope maybe that Tekken can't quite overhaul all penalties. He's got yellow flags back there. I think that was the N200D just letting the cars through.
Yeah, it was just letting the cars through indeed. And Tekken not close enough. Zero really helped with that DRS. He might be wanting to thank the Spaniard later, to be honest. That might have just awarded him the win. Tekken, 4.5 tenths off, running down the hill. It is too far back, I think, for him to have a go. He's got to save up the ERS. Zero is on 15%. They're roughly around the same terms in ERS. But Tekken now has got to prove those ties to the end. Yellow flag in Sector 2 is DN200. Don't worry about that at all. But Tekken, with only 1.5 kilometres left to go, he's right on the back of Zero. This is going to come down to the final 2 corners out on track between them both, Zero and Tekken. There is that yellow flag in Sector 2. It's DN200 who spun out of turn 4. Tekken now on the back at Zero, though. That is going to be round the final 2 corners. He is going to take the win, I think, out on track. The Dutchman round the final corner in a brilliant race in Division 5. Zero wins, Tekken in 2nd, but Tekken, 5-second time penalty added on for Zero. He takes the win, and Maze is up to 2nd. Fantastic stuff from Mays on penalties, albeit, but Rock City has dropped down to third. Jimmy Storm fought 0 in the end, crossed the line in first, ended up in fifth and out of the top 3. Which is so unfortunate. Invictus 6th, Atlas Copel 7th. A lot of changes of position on the left-hand side. Maximus 8th, Pascal's 9th. Storm in 10th. Best race of the season for NSR Storm. Fantastic result from him. Salas in 11th. Nellis, what could have been, I think, for him in 12th position. The M200G's just coming around the final corner in front of him to finish in 14th. And Nolson, trying to go for the fastest lap, will not get that fastest lap, I don't think. He comes across the line and jumps ahead of Nellis for 12th position. But Division 5 Austria, people might hate this track, but honestly, it was an instant classic, I think, for Division 5 tonight. Your driver of the day, Zero, deserves it, I think. Got all the way from 17th on the grid due to a bug, ended up in first, out on track. But on penalties, he finishes in 5th, but he still gets awarded the driver of the day as voted by you guys, the fans. But there is your winner. It is Tekken once again. Selfies galore once again for the championship leader, and he extends his championship lead.
Yeah, that is absolutely vital. What a fight back, of course. Had to make that pit stop, maybe even made the wrong strategy call, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. That was superb. I am absolutely stunned by that race. That was quite an introduction to TTML for myself, to be honest. That was an incredible race to watch.
Absolutely fantastic. And this is Division 5, remember. Not Division 1 or 2. This is Division 5. The grid order, I think, should come up. I hope I haven't got the glitch where the grid order is not going to come up.
I've also got a black screen.
Yeah, the black screen of death. It's now amongst us here in Division 5. Be unfortunate to end this way, but hopefully we do get somebody at least that might leave the session. Hopefully it's not a glitch. You'll just hear the ba-dump right at the end of the grid order. But hopefully we'll get it up. It was Tekken who took the win. Mason second, and yeah, like I've just said, we're back to screen. Brilliant.
Oh no.
Absolutely brilliant. You can have a look about a minute back on the stream to have a look at the race results yourself. Tekken did take the win. Mays finished in second. Fantastic result from him out on track, but a great race overall. And how was that for a first race in Division 5?
I've absolutely loved it, James. Thanks to everyone for letting me have this shot at it, and yeah, very excited. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the season now after seeing that one, because that was quite the spectacle.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I think Tekken, of course, taking his championship lead on to next week. And next week, have you got the calendar handy?
Okay, you're making me think on the fly here. I'm trying to... let me have a look here. It is going to be... I think it's... Hungary, I think.
Is it Hungary?
I'm looking at the website here. This is round 6. Round 7 is at Hungary in a week's time.
Hungary in a week's time is next week then for TTML, as we'll go, of course, on Tuesday, Thursday and Friday for all 5 divisions here in TTML. TTML F2 as well. I enjoyed commentating around Britain. It was fantastic to see the F2 guys back in action on Wednesday. Tomorrow, you might be thinking CRC's on. It's not. CRC is not on tomorrow. We've got a couple of weeks until the start of the season. And if you are interested in filling in the footsteps of myself as commentator on a Saturday night or indeed on a Sunday night for IndyCars, then head yourself over to @competitive RC, @competitive Racing Club on Twitter, CRC of course, and you'll be in the best capable hands, I'm sure, if you do want to take up a commentary role for the Radicals, for the touring cars, or indeed for the Indy cars that are going to be happening for Season 6 in CRC. The next time you will see us live, however, will be the old-fashioned pairing of Kieran McGinley and myself for Division 1 in Hungary. Round 7 of the championship will come to you live from 8 o'clock, complete hopefully with graphics. Tom, of course, taking a couple of nights off due to work commitments. I don't blame him, to be honest, with those graphics. Absolutely brilliant commitment.
They are stunning, yeah.
They are really stunning. And that is it from myself and Dan. Before we end, who was your driver of the day?
I mean, I'm gonna go with the game here. I think it has to be 0. Because you think about it, the fact that he started last was completely out of his control, and yet he still managed to make the best of it. And if it weren't for one mistake, he would have ended up winning the race, which is quite remarkable from that position. So I think 0 has to take it for me.
Yeah, 0, I think, fortunate to end up in 17th with all that went on in the early stages. The 2 safety cars, of course, out on track. But 0, I've got to agree. I don't often agree with the game, but I do on this occasion. 0 will take the driver of the day, of course, from the commentary duo of myself and Daniel Hoggard. Dan, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you alongside me in the Colcons box. And I look forward to doing it all again next week and indeed for the rest of the season.
Yes, indeed. I can't wait to see how the rest of the season unfolds.
But that is it from us for tonight here in TTML Division 5. I've been James Head, he's been Daniel Hoggard. Please take care of yourselves. We will see you next week. Next time alive, remember, Tuesday for TTML Division 1. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.